Liz Weston, when leasing a car is the more frugal option. If you need a car, the most frugal option is to buy one that's 2 to 3 years old, pay cash and drive it until the wheels fall off. The least frugal option traditionally has been leasing, where you make monthly payments to drive a car but don't own it. You're paying for the vehicle during its most expensive period. Cars lose more than half their value on average in the first 3 years, and you have nothing to show for your payments after the lease ends. Few people opt for the frugal way, however, and car buying has changed enough that leasing may no longer be the costliest option. In some situations, leasing could be the most sensible. Costlier cars, longer loans. To understand why, let's survey the US automotive landscape. Americans are buying more expensive cars, financing larger amounts, taking out longer loans. Americans increasingly opt for SUVs and trucks over sedans, then spring for higher trim levels and more features than in the past, says Ronald Montoya, Senior Consumer Advice Editor for car comparison site Edmunds. The average purchase price for a new car in November was $37,981, $4,699 more than the comparable figure from 2014, according to Edmunds. Consumers stretch out their loans to get lower monthly payments. Most buyers now opt for loans longer than 5 years. Even so, the average monthly payment is still a hefty $568, up from $492 5 years ago. Leasing a similarly priced car would cost significantly less each month. You could probably get something for about $400 a month leased, easy, Montoya says. Lease versus buy calculation. On paper, buying still comes out ahead mostly because you loaned the car with some equity at the end of the loan. But such apples-to-apples comparisons of a 6-year car loan versus 2-3-year leases leave out a lot of important details, such as repair and maintenance bills. These costs tick up as a car ages, and warranties, which cover most repair and maintenance costs, usually end at 3 years. The expense normally wouldn't be enough to make leasing the cheaper option, unless people don't have savings and use a credit card or a payday loan. That describes a whole lot of people in the US, where 2 out of 5 adults don't have $400 to cover an emergency expense, according to the Federal Reserve. Plus, if you don't have money for a down payment, it's much easier to get a lease than a loan, Montoya says. Another issue is that new car buyers often don't hang on to their vehicles long enough to get the most value from their purchase, Montoya says. Ideally, you would keep the car for many payment-free years. What about buying used? That's still the most financially sound way to get into a vehicle since you're letting the first owner take the depreciation hit. It's less sound, though, when people finance the CA. For more on this story, visit the news article link.